Iron Maiden finally released a part of their massive Wacken Open Air 2023 live show. So let's take a look at that live concert, discuss some of the awkward moments from it, and then see what it might mean for Iron Maiden's future. Here you go. Overall, Iron Maiden released a 30-minute long footage from their fourth coming to the heavy metal holy ground, containing 5 live tracks and a series of exclusive interviews taken before the show. And here right away I just wanted to point out that neither the band nor Rod Smallwood actually said anything extraordinary or new, but rather concentrated on how awesome Wacken is, praising the festival for everything they do for metalheads worldwide.
It's a really nice day out, good football, good people, good food, good beer. What more do you want?
Yet at the same time, it was indeed extra special to see the footage of Nico McBrain, as this interview with him was recorded just a day after that public announcement of him experiencing a stroke weeks before the Future Past tour start. And seeing him being in good humor, just like he usually is, of course is a true joy for every Iron Maiden fan.
It's definitely grown and grown and grown, and I think it's been what? How many years now? 1990, when did it start? 92, 93, 94? 1990. Right there, boys and girls. Yes, I was just testing.
But the concert footage in this video cuts off a bit earlier than I hoped it would, and since most of the channel's regular viewers know that I was able to travel and see that show at Wacken, I have to point out that one of the most emotional parts of that performance overall was to see how the band and thousands of fans greeted and supported Nico after the show's end.
I want to hear a special thank you for this man, Mr. Nico.
And by the way, if you did not know about this because you are not subscribed to this channel, here I just wanted to point out that only around 30% of the people who are watching my videos are actually subscribed to the Metal Pilgrim channel. So if for some reason you still haven't done so yet, and especially if this is not the first Up the Iron series video you're watching on this channel, please consider doing this right now. Let's continue building this amazing heavy metal community together.
We're gonna have a good time. Always.
Despite Maiden playing a full-length set at Wacken, the band only released 5 tracks from that show. And this, in my opinion, might actually be very good news for all Iron Maiden fans. So, first of all, for this release, the band has chosen 2 tracks from Somewhere in Time, those being Wasted Years and Stranger in a Strange Land, although with a different video footage from the live single they released earlier, 2 of the most dynamic songs from Senjutsu, and one of their classic and most well-known tunes from the 1980s. No Alexander the Great, no Hell on Earth, and none of those deep cuts so many die-hard Iron Maiden fans long to hear from the band on this tour, which may lead us to 2 possible conclusions. Number 1. Knowing the band's history and similar releases in the past, there is a possibility that if Iron Maiden decide to shake up their setlist for the 2024 leg of the Future Past tour, these are some of the songs the boys might drop from their show, as this is exactly what they did after releasing a live video for Stratego and several other songs in the past. And number 2, well, Iron Maiden do know how crazy their fans go about the fact that Alexander the Great is finally being played live on this tour, and depriving the Maiden family of a proper live footage of it would simply be cruel.
It's just outrageous.
So I actually think that this choice of songs just shows that the band has reserved its release for a proper live concert, documenting this tour, which may come out either right after the next leg's end, so around Christmas next year, or in early 2025. Oh, and by the way, the German Magenta TV announcement specifically said exclusive premiere, which kind of implies that the same footage may be released later on. But at the same time, for some fans, there might be a couple of odd things about this live video. First of all, most of the audience footage is done from the back and is very limited. So one may think that during Iron Maiden's performance, a Wacken crowd stood still and hardly moved around the field. And they would be absolutely right about it.
What?
If you didn't know, before the start of the festival, the Holy Ground has received an abnormal amount of rain, and the entire field was just a giant mud bath. No, seriously, now I'm saying it, it doesn't sound as bad as it actually was. Because the truth is that for most part, you simply couldn't walk around the stage area. And once you found a place to stand, you stood there, and waving your hands in the air was the best you could do. Not including crowd surfing, to much of annoyance of those who stood by the barrier. And so this, in addition to the whole fact that around 30,000 ticket holders were not able to attend the festival, might be the reason to the limited crowd footage. And who knows, might actually mean that the band might have to change their plans and record another show for their future live concert. Or possibly do a mashup of several of their performances like they did in the past. And yet still, Iron Maiden being the band they are, showcased their best, running around the stage and giving the fans the show we all know the band for. Including Bruce Dickinson's camera rides, which I'm sure to many fans reminded of their 2001 Rock in Rio performance. And another thing which I couldn't help but notice is the difference in mixing on different tracks. And I'm not saying whether it's bad or good, it just differs from a track to a track, which made me wonder if it was the same person who was working on it, which of course would be understandable given Tony Newton's tight schedule running around the planet with KK Downin's new band, KK's Priest. But at the same time, it could be just a compression thing, so please let me know in the comments whether you heard it as well or if I'm going utterly crazy. But nevertheless, even though, as I already mentioned, the concert's footage cuts off slightly before the band leaves the stage, which of course is very understandable,
The end of the European tour. What a fucking night to end it on.
still, both Iron Maiden and Wacken teams decided to leave this one phrase in, which, looking back at my own footage, actually was not said right after the concert's end.
We will see you again.
So what does that mean for Wacken crowd and Iron Maiden fans? Well, we all of course know that next year there's literally zero chance that this band would be performing at Wacken Open Air. Yet, in one of the recent interviews, Bruce Dickinson actually pointed out that he knows exactly what he and the band will be doing up until the end of 2025. Which leads me personally to believe that there is a very high chance that Iron Maiden will once again headline Wacken Open Air Festival a year after the next one.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
And the truth is that if it is the case, I personally will do everything I can to be there. Because watching this footage of one of your favorite bands performing at the show that you actually were at, to me personally was one of the most emotional things, which brought a small ray of light into the dark reality I and thousands of Iron Maiden fans in Ukraine have to live through these days.
Every night we play this song. This is the best fucking night of our lives. So don't spend your time worrying about those wasted years.
And as you guys remember, I went to that concert under a special permission, and thanks to all of you guys from that trip who were able to fundraise and deliver quite a lot of medical aid to those in real need here on the ground in Ukraine. Which, since I'm right now writing up a little review of our 2023, I'll post a full report of, including all the photos at metalpilgrim.net in just a couple of days. And by the way. This is the website where you can find some of these metal Christmas hoodies, which there are still a couple of left, and I'll be more than happy to send it your way if you would like to have one this holiday season. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys, and we will prevail. Slava Ukraini!